Scott, thanks for coming to take a look at the HX model.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I want you to just take a peek from here first of all. I do have complete information to give you in brochures and a quote, but I wanted you to see what we were talking about first.
Okay.
You'll notice this is a striking truck right from here, right going in. It's a modern, streamlined, aerodynamic, fuel-saving
Looks good.
type of piece of equipment. You see that windshield? It's a one-piece windshield. Can be ordered as a two-piece or one-piece at 1,685 square inches of viewing area, which is almost 50% higher than a T800 10-month.
Okay.
We use 22-inch wipers on that big windshield, which will cover 90% of the viewing area. So you have safety built right into the thing. Along with the metal hood, that's not regular fiberglass, it's called metal. And it's very strong, very durable. It's probably 50% stronger or a little bit more than that than fiberglass. It's more expensive, but you get what you pay for. Looking at the hood, as opposed to our competition, this is a three-piece, one-piece tilt front end. And when I say that, it's three pieces put together. The plus to that is if your driver ever rips up a fender, replace the fender for about $2,000 instead of a front end for about $8,000.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be said for that. On this particular model, this has front tow hooks, but it's also available with a 150,000-pound tow pin if you're going to be in swampy or really bogged down, where you know you're going to be pulled out constantly. The 150,000-pound option, by the way, is integral to the frame. It is not to the radiator supports. As a result of that, you don't have a zillion-dollar radiator ripped up trying to pull the truck out of the mess.
Okay.
But what I wanted you to see more than anything is the fact that you don't have to hold on to it. Besides the springs on it, there's a cylinder that assists in both tilting it and putting it back so it doesn't crash down or get caught in the wind and break your arm when you're in there.
Okay. It opened really easy.
Yes, it does. Right here, we use the big block 15-liter Cummins power. You can use the N13 International engine as well, depending on which model we order. We prefer to have the big block 15-liter on this because you never know what a dump truck is going to face. It can be ordered either way that you wish to have it. You'll notice that we've got dual steering gears. This is a power steering, dual power steering setup. In the dual power steering setup, we still have a 40-degree wheel cut, which is way over our competition, especially Mack and Kenworth, by the way. And it's 40 degrees both directions, not just one direction. You've got, you'll notice that all of your service checks are on this side. You've got complete translucent reservoirs so you can see things without popping a lid, but anything with a lid is tethered so that if you pull it off, it's not lost, it doesn't fall down and then be in the frame or down the drain or something in the ground. It's all there to stay in one piece. The service is set up for synchronized intervals, which will give you a lower operating cost, and they'll keep your truck on the road longer instead of in the shop. Just tilt this back and notice how easy it goes. You do not have to hang on to it because it's not going to crash down. Well, there's locking measure before you start tilting and it's over on your side. That again is so the wind can't catch it and take it down.
Gotcha.
But you don't have to hang on to it because it's not going to go 50 miles an hour. Go by itself. You notice right here by looking at it, we use an aluminum cab on this dump truck model. It's not just an aluminum cab, it's high strength aluminum, not highway aluminum like our competitors use like for tractors. This is a little bit heavier than that, but it's a lot stronger and obviously holds up better. Our cab is riveted and bonded, just like an airplane. Our competition uses rivets only. The plus to that is, well, first of all, the obvious, it's sealed, but secondly, less noise inside the truck. You'll also notice while we're right here, we use a full-length stainless steel piano hinge. That combined with the fact that our door frame is one piece, not 2, 4, or 6, or 8 pieces welded together. It's a one-piece door frame. What that prevents, I'm sure you've seen it, where 5 years after you have the truck, you open the door, it drops down 3 inches. You lift the door to close it. You don't with this. When you walk back to the back of the cab here, notice that we have colored and numbered sequentially air hoses and electric lines. We paint the frame first then add all the lines so that the colors don't get painted over. And also notice right here by your ear, we have swing away mirrors, which means if you hit those mirrors, they swing in instead of ripping out of the door. And the plus to having the door, by the way, our cab is about half a foot wider than a T800 was, for instance. So the arms are shorter than most trucks. Less vibration, easier to see from inside. But the swing away is a really nice touch, especially with it being on the door instead of on the cowl or somewhere where it really rips up the metal and catch a tree limb or something. This frame is over 3 million resisting bending moment. We also have available a single channel 1/2 inch thick frame for 3.5 million RPM for really severe conditions. But this is a suitable frame for a dump body application. We've added frills on this truck. You see polished aluminum tanks. There's a polished aluminum cover on the other side. But we try to make it, you know, a good looking unit as well as operating truck. You'll notice also back here you've got double airbags and shocks on both sides. That's both for driver comfort and to eliminate sway when you're going around a corner. So it's both safety as well as comfort oriented. We use a complete hot bolted frame. These cannot ever come loose. You do not have to retorque them 3, 5, 7 years later. They'll always stay right the way they are. And our big window this year is over 52 inches wide. So when the body's up, you can see everything that's going on, and you don't have the body coming down on somebody, but you can see where everything is. Okay, I'm going to ask you to climb up in the truck if you would. I'm going to get in from the other side. This is a reinforced pocket. And the reason for that is most people tend to grab the closest thing to them, which is this, instead of the handle that you're supposed to grab onto to climb up and in and out.
Yeah,
So we did that because this is plastic fiberglass material that it doesn't break out. Okay, if you'll adjust that seat to be comfortable, it's an air seat, of course. It comes standard with a tilt steering wheel and a telescopic steering wheel. Down below the signal, down there, if you push forward on it, you tilt up and down. If you pull backwards on it, you go in and out.
Okay.
But it'll fit any size driver. We do a large attention to cab sealing, insulation for quiet driver comfort. The hardest thing today to be in the dump truck business is to keep a good driver, as you know. And we tried to design this truck for you to keep your drivers instead of losing the good ones. So with that in mind, everything inside the truck is built for convenience as well as comfort. You'll notice that the center panel is angled towards you, so everything is within easy reach, and you can see what each one is instead of stretching around, to look at it. But to be able to read it, you can read it right from where you sit. Also standard is air conditioning, power windows, and power door locks. I mentioned that you have that reinforced door pocket over there. You also have cup holders here as well as overhead storage with netting to hold it in place. The mirrors have the antennas on for both radio and CB. You've got long-lasting LED interior lights. And you've also got over 1/2 foot wider interior space here that you get on a Kenworth. This thing is over 74 inches wide. And that, of course, was also the thing that I mentioned that enables the mirrors to have shorter arms, so you have less vibration. You can get up to 12 integrated switches put into here from the factory, so that when you add things, you don't have to have, a Mickey Mouse switch put on. It can be part of the truck, the way it comes from the factory. Your circuit breakers are in the dash. They're not under the hood. They're not underneath the dash. It requires no tools to open them up. Mac uses tools to open it. Macars is buried underneath. So there's a lot of things there that are taken for granted, let's say. You've got all easy reading gauges, and of course with LED lighting, when it then gets to be dusk, that's a real plus, the LED lighting. You'll notice the switches to your left. You've got a switch there. That will give you your power mirrors over there.
Okay.
Now over on this side, you have the parked regen, which all trucks have.
Okay.
But next to it, you have heated mirrors. So if your drivers are getting out before the crack of dawn and they have dew on the mirrors, they can melt it off and be safer when they leave.
Okay.
Also available is you get on command standard, which is actually electronics trace the vehicle. And when there's a problem that creeps up that's going to be in the ECM, it alerts your service manager if you're hooked up for that, to know what's going on with the truck and know that something needs to be done with it when it comes back in at the end of the day. That's all to reduce maintenance costs. All right, start the truck if you would. I want to mention to you before you turn it all the way, turn it on so the lights light up. When most of the lights turn off, you can then start the truck. And the reason for that is there's a preheater for the fuel. Even if it's 95 degrees out, you still want to do that because the truck will not run properly unless the fuel is heated exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And that sounds silly, but it'll miss and carry on if you don't let it heat.
All right.
How do you feel about the truck for the sitting here?
Oh, I like it. It's like almost like a cockpit. You know, everything's surrounded. Everything's real easy to get to. I've been in other trucks where you have to lean way up, you know, to undo the parking brake or something.
This is a really, really quiet cab, especially when you're running down the road. And turn the wheel from left to right, all the way to the locks, all the way to the right. See how easy that is to turn?
Oh yeah, it's really easy.
That's because of the dual steering. I also want to mention to you that even though you're running local, it's good to know that you have the confidence in the equipment as well as the service and parts backup. There's over 700 international dealers in the United States, which is way more than anybody else. In fact, it's more than most others combined. But in line with that, all of our regional parts distribution centers across the country are open 24/7. So that when orders come in, they can continuously work around the clock to get it to the dealer as quick as possible. And speaking of the dealer, our dealership, Maudlin International Trucks, has 2 shifts running from Monday to Friday till midnight and Saturday till 5 o'clock. We stock over $6 million worth of parts. And then obviously we have access to anything we need from the regional centers. So we do our best to back up what we sell, and I'll do my best to keep your confidence and give you a truck that'll keep moving and make you money.
Okay, great. Well, let's go talk some numbers.
We can do that.
All right.